Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. Tiberius Buck, what shall we do with you? Yikes. In a little bit of trouble. I think we can take a turn to read a scroll of Remove Curse. Oh, nope. We don't want to do that. We want to read a scroll of Magic Mapping. I don't know why I defaulted to Remove Curse. But I wanted to see this level in full. Okay. All right. So here's the exit. So I did look this up on the wiki and see what exactly is going on here. This is the monastery of Wukat Mu, and shadow creatures will spawn periodically, as you can see from these deep trolls and monstrous demons spawn. Monstrous demons spawn are actually tough. Those are Pandemonium enemies right there. I do think that there are deep trolls in Pandemonium as well, but okay. I think it's been long enough. Let's see if I can access chat here. I don't know why it takes. Oh, I have to wait for an advertiser. Oh, but I can see chat now. Okay, excellent, good. So, if there's anyone out there, welcome. If not, then welcome to the recording. Okay. So, we have two options here. The first is just to run for the exit right now, which isn't a terrible idea given that we only have 82 hit points remaining and 14 mana. But there is only one enemy in this wizard lab, and it's, I think, right about here. And we'd have to run through all this business all the way around to here, and then have to get to, I think here would grant line of fire, but this statue blocks the initial. Hello, Dr. X. How are you today? Tonight? Whichever it is. Hmm. Another alternative here is to read a scroll of teleportation. Hope that we land. I mean, really anywhere is better than where we are now. If we land right next to the exit, I would seriously consider just taking it. Because the treasure in these things is usually pretty good. And by pretty good, I mean very powerful. That being said, I don't know what we really need. We are pretty tricked out here. I am ready. I have had a much better couple of days at work than I had been having. I have a lot more brain power right now than I did earlier this week. So yeah, I think we're ready to do this. Yeah. So the plan here, the shadows. Unfortunately, we do not have anything of warding, any source of the abjuration effect. We could have at one point memorized abjuration and failed to do so. Why, I don't recall. Probably because I just wanted to cast Firestorm as quickly as possible. Which is a little embarrassing, a little bit of egg on my face. Okay, so The creatures that appear are shadow summon creatures. I would assume that they are similar to those summoned by what is the spell? Phantasmal. No, there's Monstrous Menagerie, and there's the spell is just called Shadow Creatures, and it makes shadowy creatures out of whatever would inhabit the level. This particular the Temple of Wukad Mu has shadow creatures made out of the monks that once meditated here. So monstrous demon spawn, deep trolls, other strong melee fighters with high unarmed combat skill and natural weapons. So that's kind of rough. Um, because absent a source of abjuration, we don't really have a good way to deal a lot of damage consistently, repeatedly. So we definitely don't want to be fighting these things if we can. We also do not possess a source of haste, which is a shame. I believe the next couple of scrolls of requirement I'm going to want um, to use on wands to try and get a wand of hasting or preferably a wand of heal wounds. At this point, I'm willing to take a 2 out of 3 chance, a 66% chance of getting a very useful wand. Okay. Hey Genja, how's it going? Having a good night? I hope so. Okay, so our escape plan. We are going to read a scroll of teleportation. It has a very high chance of moving us closer to our goal, which is right here where my cursor is. Right there is an orange statue that is a stone embodiment of Wukad Mu himself. And it summons lots of shadow creatures. It also can inflict divination's miscast effects on you, which I don't think count as actual curses. I don't believe that Ashen's will block them. However, divination's miscasts are frequently just confusion, so we are immune to that. We have clarity. We cannot be confused, which is nice. Yeah, this is actually, now that I have, identified it and I'm not just blundering about, you really can't blunder about in Wizard Labs. I think that Wizard Labs are one of the things in this game where you cannot argue that it's, you know, I don't know. Some people are like, "Oh, don't spoil it for yourself," and I'm like, "No," because there are like 8 different wizard laboratories. You get maybe 1 or 2 per game, and the odds of finding the same one twice and just trying to figure it out from the one time you've been there before are very small, and your chance of living through one of them without knowing at least something about what's going on is also very very low, as is evidenced by the fact that with all my experience at this game and with as powerful as we are, have gotten us into a fairly dire situation just because I blundered about for, I don't know, 100 turns or so. Yeah, a little bit. Well, and all the thing is, all the wizard labs are scary hard. Um, one of them it just has like whole patches of it that are infused with mutagenic clouds. Another one just has like random teleporters between rooms that have a bunch of really tough dudes in them. Uh, the air mage one just has a really convoluted spiral path to get to the center where there are a lot of dangerous things. I have succeeded in taking out a wizard laboratory before without looking at the wiki, but I've learned my lesson. I do that now. The shadow creatures, I believe, can see invisible. I think we looked at that last time, but I will double check the next time that some spawn. The lab entrances, yes, are timed, and that's the real heartbreaker. Is that it's a very greedy choice. They are designed to be traps for the avaricious, uh, which I fall into every time. I can't resist. But that's also partly because um, this is not my first win. I I am more willing to die and lose the progress that this character has made because my goal is to make this as complete and entertaining a run as possible. So my goal is not just to get to the orb and get out, it's to provide a fun experience for you guys and also to explore more of this game. I love learning about it, and this is the first mostly spellcastery character that I've played in a while that hasn't been worshipping Shape Rados, and it's a fun playstyle. I really enjoy it, and I want to try it out in different areas. So here we periodically shadow creatures will spawn of strong unarmed opponents. We can kill them, but we don't get any experience from them. So the best thing to do is to get to here, where there is an orange statue that summons more creatures and can inflict divinations and miscasts on you, but is easily destroyed. And once we destroy that statue, the shadow creatures stop appearing, and we can go get all the juicy treasure that's, I would assume, in here. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read a scroll of teleportation. I think it generally tells you, I think, or rather, I believe that it always tells you if there's something interfering with teleportation, and we did not see any such message. So we have a, 99% chance or something of landing closer to the statue than we are now, which is fine. We have enough teleport. We have 5 teleports, so that's not a ton, but we do have 2 scrolls of recharging, so we can extend that significantly if we need to. But the plan is to just land as near to the statue as possible, run to the statue, blow it up with our Wand of Disintegration, or one of our Wands of Disintegration, and loot the place. But we may die. We'll see. We may have to do Escape Plan Part 2. Hey, perfect! Oh, beautiful. That is the best teleport that I have had in so long. Awesome. The reason why this is an amazing teleport is because, as you can see over here, entering into this area, you have your line of fire blocked by this statue, so we would have to spend turns either getting around it, we would have to go like step, step, so 2 turns there, or we'd have to spend potentially more turns blowing it up. But here we have easy access. We're a perfect line of fire. Statue of Wukod Mu. It's made of a fine, glassy orange crystal. Depicts a mystic known as Wukod Mu, who mastered the matters of the mind. Beware the statue's powers, as you have no chance in mental combat against it. Roxanne, I think, is immune to disintegrate. Yeah, she's the icy blue statue. But if the wiki is to be believed, disintegrate will work on this. It has a lower pool of hit points than most orange statues. So, ooh is unaffected. Okay, well, piffle. I guess it has to overcome natural magic resistance. Huh. Maybe not. Okay, well then, Orb of Destruction is our kind of last option, I think. Oh, but it's a good option. Excellent. And also, it didn't... Good. Okay, it hasn't done anything to us. Excellent. The shadows inhabiting this place fade forever. Cool. Ooh, the +9 Staff of Wukod Mu. That seems neat. What does it do? It can be evoked to restore large amounts of magical energy, but with the risk of damaging the user's mind. Its power depends on the wielder's evocation skill, though. That's kind of a shame. But it's a really cool item. That's very neat. That is a fun option for the end game that we may choose to use. Potion of Restore abilities, which most other characters will be happy to see. More potions. Ooh, a manual of spellcasting. Cow! Awesome. That made this whole thing worth it. That's a very nice find. Let's see what this spellbook is. Oh, Book of Enchantments. I mean, I think we already have all of those, but there's no reason not to take it back with us. That's a little disappointing. But the manual by itself is totally worth it. A +4 to our spellcasting aptitude is going to, uh, I think, ease our transition into the extended endgame quite nicely. I'm not concerned about getting through Zop. We can beat Zop without too much difficulty, I don't think. But Pandemonium in the Hells, and especially Ziggurats, are insane enough. I think we're pretty well set up for the Tomb, since we're immune to the things that are the scariest there. I guess let's just explore the place. It's kind of a cool little monastery. I like it. Alright, well, we survived another experience that maybe we didn't deserve to survive, but that was just an astonishingly good teleport. We didn't have to deal with any more creatures the entire time. We had exactly enough mana to deal with the statue. We were fortunate in this instance. I mean, I still think that was the best plan, because I did not know the rate at which these shadow creatures spawned. I didn't know if we could get to this exit in time to avoid, say, one appearing here and blocking us, and us having to use mana to destroy it before we could get to the exit, or trying to like blink past it or something. Yeah, it was very, very good. We were quite fortunate, and we reaped the rewards. All right, excellent. Back to the depths, level 3. All right, so I should not let that victory infect me with hubris. We will still play with caution. Yeah, that's right. Hoisted by your own petard. Deep Troll Shamans. Deep Troll Shamans don't stand next to walls around them. They have a spell that is similar to... oh no, it's the... Never mind. These are the Shamans buff their allies. They're similar to Ogre Magi. It's the Deep Troll Earth Mages. Don't stand next to walls because they have... what is it? Lee's Rapid Deconstruction. They blow up the walls next to you and it hurts. The spell doesn't do that much to you if you're far away. It also really hurts if you are a gargoyle. It hurts a lot because you're made out of stone, and it's a spell that specifically blows up stone. Oh, that's right. Our crossbow penetrates now. Brilliant. I think we can afford to fire one more. Okay, no, now we're going to drag him upstairs. We can kind of go back to using our mana somewhat indiscriminately here, though we do have to be careful because Deep Trolls hasted can be a little bit tricky. Ooh, you know what I need to do? I need to... sorry, I forgot that the Dudrich family, their notifications aren't working, so I wanted to let them know that I was streaming. I know that they sometimes like to have it on. Anyway, so things here. We have things. Deep Trolls can do a lot of damage real fast when they're hasted, so we do have to be cautious about that, but I'm not too terribly concerned. Firestorm at 96%. That's a little silly. I don't know exactly why we decide. I think I'm just real greedy. I am so greedy. And just continue to use fulminant prisms here. I think it's probably the most efficient use of our mana at this point. If if we're not concerned about taking damage, I think that it's pretty solid. Uh, yeah, I mean the orb is great, but if you're standing right next to a thing, it doesn't do nearly as much damage as if it gets rolling. Okay. Do 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 do. I don't know if you were all here last time, but we did find some really awesome stuff towards the end. This hand crossbow of penetration, resist electricity, resist cold, and intelligence +3. Pretty sweet. um, and we once we switched to that, away from the arbalest, we were able to put on this buckler of resistance that we found that gives us a pip of resist cold and resist fire. Uh, one of my new favorite pieces of armor. Bucklers of reflection are also insanely good, but I think that I mean, it's kind of apples and oranges because it's offensive versus defensive. If you happen to need an offensive thing, then reflection is a better ego to have on your shield. But if you just want 2 pips of resistances, which we do, 70 armor class, nice. That's pretty cool. Yeah, gargoyles are really cool. And the other hidden thing, Boris again. I think we already killed him like a long time ago. Maybe that was with a different character. I know we took him on as Sharumph. I can't remember if we've taken him on yet as Tiberius. I think we have. I want to say we have. Anyway, he's really scary. No matter what level you are. Iron Shot is just a really powerful spell, although Bolt of Cold isn't going to do anything to us. Orb of Destruction is pretty nasty. We so what we want to do is, oh yeah, the hidden thing about gargoyles. Sorry, I got distracted. Their global damage reduction is also higher. Interestingly, it scales inversely with your armor class. So, or rather, it scales inversely with the base armor class of your armor, unlike regular GDR. So you get less of a boost from being a gargoyle the heavier armor you're wearing. But regardless, you do get a boost. I think it's 60%. It's 58% or something, or maybe it's even higher for guard. It's somewhere between 58 and 65% guaranteed damage reduction from melee attacks if you are a gargoyle wearing like gold dragon or crystal plate armor. It's nutter butters. All right, back to the matter at hand. Firestorm. It's just so good. I can't wait to cast it with you guys. It's a lot of fun. All right, so things we can do. I think that placing a fulminant prism right in front of him is awesome. Maybe, no, I think right in front of him. That way, he may just blow it up with an Orb of Destruction. Yeah, let's see what he does. He just touches our fulminant prism and hurts it that much. I guess he does have the Finger of Death. He's a Lich. Liches are pretty tough. Ooh, I need to make sure not to step into range of the fulminant prism. What if we do one here as well? Alright, let's, we can probably dodge around this, Jivia, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I think I missed the chat thing where you said you switched to Jivia. I think I had switched out of the program for a second. I apologize. Yeah, Jivia, or Jiva, I always call her Jivia. Jiva, a really fun sort of challenge slash. It's halfway like throwaway runs when you want to play the game but you don't really want to concentrate, and partly like actually really cool if you get it to work. which is to make a troll monk and just dive down through the dungeon like crazy, just running from everything until you get to the part of the lair where the slime pits are, and you just hope that there's an altar of Jaiba outside, and then you worship Jaiba and dash down into the slime pits and grab all the treasure and like deck yourself out, and then just slaughter everything in the dungeon. I've never gotten it to work, but I've heard that it's really cool. Anyway, for now, we're going to try to dodge this Orb of Destruction. It's going to want to move towards us, so I believe if we move there, it'll hit this statue and blow it up. Bordis will also do something. Presumably, he will not cast a second Orb of Destruction, which means he will probably cast either Bolt of Cold or Iron Shot if he has Line of Fire on us. I don't think he does from there to here. So he may move here, or he may make himself invisible because he doesn't know. I don't think he knows that we can see invisible, and there are no corpses around for him to animate. So, oh, I see. Just traveling in that direction. All right, that's fine. Here is a good place to throw our own Orb of Destruction. Oh, yeah. I think there are maybe spells that create walls. I know that there is a card in one of the decks that creates walls, and I know that there's a spell that creates trees. Yeah, I don't recall. I don't think there is. I think that they realized that that would be way too abusable, and so they made it kind of uncommon. Ooh, a +2 large shield of resistance. If we ever have just a ton of experience to throw around, say, 5 or 6 Pandemonium visits from now, we can always come back and pick this up and use it. That seems pretty cool. Slimes. Let's blow them up. Destroy the slimes. Now that they're merging, let's... Boom. Oh, right. I have Draining. Eyes of Draining are... They don't actually drain your skills, like the Draining effect. They drain your magic, which is annoying. So, let's just escape. Whoa! That was, not the escape I was looking for. I kind of did that on a whim, and I really ought not to have. So what do we have here? We have a Guardian Mummy, a Shadow Dragon Zombie, 4 regular mummies. Fortunately, the Guardian Mummy is not as bad as, like, Mummy High Priests. Did the wiki abandon Shay? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. That's nice. That's awesome. That has to have been in the last 24 hours that they did that. I am pleased today. That's very good to hear. Okay, so most efficient place to put this... probably be there. Yeah, I think this is our strongest area of effect spell. And now we can put one here. That'll work. I'm not too concerned here. We are at full health, which is a lot. And we have enough defensive capabilities to not die in 2 or even 3 turns. So we have a lot of resources at our disposal in this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad that it wasn't a permanent thing, because the wiki is awesome. Yeah, the other reason why I'm not concerned is because Ashen'Zari is going to be awesome and protect us from all these curses that we would otherwise be suffering. Ooh, I didn't think about the fact that there might be other monsters that notice, but I think the fact they... Oh, no, there they opened the door. Okay. Well, let's get out of here. This is an unnecessarily dangerous situation that we've gotten ourselves into, but I'm not It is unnecessarily dangerous, but it is not fatally dangerous. Yet. Let's Tukima's Dance. I think that'll be a good use of our mana here. Once we get 4 mana, we can get a zombie friend. Okay. Alright. We're back to fine. I don't like having to escape downstairs generally, but I don't think we actually are going to have to escape this situation at all, and so it's just for the security. There's also this over here if we need it. We're focusing fire magic. I don't think we need to focus spellcasting. It would be fine, but it would more rapidly raise our spellcasting, but it doesn't make it any more efficient to focus it. The manual will help us the same amount no matter what. Just use our crossbow here. Let's see. Ah, yeah. We have a new friend. A frenemy. We will make sure that it is in front. Yeah. There we go. And then we get to clean up. Monstrous demon spawn are tough. It's... Can't just blow self up count. Yeah. Choose the draw for it. Storm blew me up. Oh, Genja. You are a lightning rod. Oh, I see. This is a gateway to Pandemonium. Gotcha. Let's just close this door and carry on our way. Maybe this way, our way. Blat. Alright, so this has been kind of a sloppy dungeon, but I'm drunk on power from taking out the wizard lab, so yeah. Don't do this at home. Infetubus. Green Death, actually, I don't think we're scared of, even remotely. Yeah, it can do some physical damage to us with Poison Arrow and Venom Bolt, but we care not for poison. We care not. So we'll blow him up. Fire Magic at level 6, that's good. A Blue Devil, super imaginative with the names. We'll blow up the Blue Devil as well. I feel like zombies, we can just kind of do that. We can just machine gun them down. Or that is to say, regular, not super scary zombies. Boring zombies. We don't need to pay attention to them. Hear an explosion and feel a bit more experienced. Let's drop one of these there. We can still shoot at this guy, that's right. Our crossbow of penetration is awesome. Extremely cool. I don't think I've ever had a using a demon blade wearing plate armor. Well, he hasn't noticed us, so let's skedaddle. Storm Dragon Zombie with this centaur here is a little bit more annoying, but we can sort of kite him back and get them in a nice little row here. And pretty maids all in a row. And just the fact that there were other sort of unknown enemies wandering around there. It looks like the heftier dragon zombies here require a little bit of work. I don't think they have. Yeah, they don't have the enchantment resistance that. I feel like we're almost getting through. There we go. Okay, cool. A giant orange brain. Oh. It saw us. I was hoping it would not. We killed a giant orange brain. I just like saying giant orange brain. Emperor Scorpion is not particularly scary. This one I do kind of want to kill manually if I can. That is to say, without blowing it up, because I like Emperor Scorpion zombies quite a bit. Also, oh, interesting. They move faster, I think, than they used to. They used to be pretty slow. No such luck. Another 2-rune death. Oh, deterioration. Oh, that's really rough. Yeah, that's one of those where you can just get, unfortunately, is just randomed out of the game. I don't think that Flayed Ghost's crazy, scary flaying thing works on us. Yeah, I guess we don't have blood or, skin that we care about keeping in excellent shape. Straight hallway. Let's start blowing up slimes here. There we go. Rakshasa, slightly scary. Hopefully we can get it with an orb. Yeah. Being very noisy throughout this whole process is why things keep stumbling across us. That, and we aren't exploring the level in the proper order. We're just wandering around from where we ended up with that teleport. You cannot escape my wrath. Not even slightly. Boom. Demon Blades are cool. They're a reasonably strong weapon for a sword and board type. Sword and shield user. Or long blades and shields, I suppose. Yeah, resist mutation is pretty rare. It's you have to around level, well, past the layer really. You have to just kind of play it safe if you don't have a source, because things can just mutate you. And yeah, cure mutation potions are really rare. They're probably the most precious resource in the game. There we go. I mean, when you need a potion of cure mutation, you really need a potion of cure mutation. I mean, your other option is what, worshipping Zin, which many races don't even have. Well, not many. Some races. Wow. I guess we found the entrance to somewhere interesting, or maybe there's treasure here. That'd be nice. Let's just control undead and skedaddle. And you can attack that summon thing. Okay, now attack this mummy. Oh, he can smite us? That's right. Yeah, greater mummies, by the way, are super dangerous. Unless you're us. Then it's probably okay. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, fire orbs. If you don't have a source of resist mutation by the time you encounter fire orbs, you probably cannot do more than a 3-rune run. Or as many runes as you have when you get there. It's really tough to continue the game after you've been mutated, 7 times with horrible stuff. Right, so they can summon demons, summon undead, like through two of their spells, 2 of Greater Mummy's spells do nothing to us. Symbol of Torment doesn't do anything. Summon Undead is actually potentially beneficial for us because we can just control undead whatever they summon. They can smite us, which hurts, and they can summon demons, which can hurt. But the biggest danger of greater mummies is their death curse. When they die, all mummies curse you when they die, but the greater mummies can do some really nasty stuff to you, like 7 points of stat loss, or torment, or I don't know, nastiness. Anyway, we are protected by Ashinzari from those, and even were we not, I think we would still be okay with our immunity to negative energy. I guess we're gonna have to expend a little bit more effort to. Let's control this hungry ghost here. Greater Mummy hits us. Hit the hungry ghost. Jerk. Okay, yeah, this is another one of their curses, is to summon a Reaper. Death has come for you. Which, if you just expended all of your resources killing a Greater Mummy, then, yeah, if you're living... Ooh. And that's why the tomb is so difficult. Not because they're really, like, hard to kill, but because if you kill too many of them at once, it kills you. So running into the tomb with Firestorm, if you are a living being, is not advisable. Actually, well, that is the truth for the old tomb. They have changed the tomb in 1.5, and I have not experienced it yet. Ooh, that's a very cool plate armor, but not for us. It's also definitely worse than Pearl Dragon or Gold Dragon armor, because it's an artifact, it can't be enchanted further. So your overall, cool. The Handbook of Evil. Oh hey, I've been wondering how to be evil. Let's find out. It's with anime, skeleton, pain, corpse rot, and excruciating wounds. Sure. I feel like that's written in crayon. Wow. Shadow Dragon zombies are a little spicier. You just throw a bunch of orbs of destruction at them, though. Great. Now the little ditty that I just made up is going to be stuck in my head all night. A torpor snail? They make us slow. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I think I actually did that the first time I visited the tombs. I think I did use a scroll of immolation and set it off and just died. I think I had that same thought. Because I saw a bunch of mummies, and I'm like, oh, mummies are vulnerable to fire. Yeah, that was not a fun chain reaction. How incredibly interesting. Okay, well, it doesn't seem too tough. Generally, things that are scary to us can catch us. Stone Giant. Blah. Ooh, another point into intelligence. I guess we get this point, and then at level 27 we get our last point. Vampire Knight with a War Axe Electrocution. Will you be my friend? Yeah. Won't you be my neighbor? Boom. We don't need no stinking vampires. Neat. Almost done with our exploration. Hill giant wielding a giant club. Okay. Let us make you not wield that giant club. How's Firestorm coming? 82%. Oh, we're getting there. Getting there. I'm almost tempted to turn off fighting for a while. 190 hit points. I think we can afford to stay there for a little bit. Because, I mean, look at our resistances. Max on all of them. Except resist corrosion, but nah, whatever. Plus, 25 armor class, 12 evasion, 9 shields isn't bad. It's not outstanding, but it's solid. It's definitely solid. I want to get to Firestorm faster. Yeah, so let's focus spell casting and fire magic, and leave conjurations training because I feel that that's really important for us to get up to max no matter what, because of Orb of Destruction, if nothing else. Yeah. Not too worried about Frost Breath. Really, actually, the correct choice with dragons for us is to never approach them. With our resistances, we should just not let them get into melee range, and they won't ever be able to kill us, really. Okie dokie. Onward. Interesting. What multiple gates are on this level? Anything? We have a vision of multiple gates, but we don't know what they are. Alright, whatever. It's cool that there are a bunch of items right here, though. That seems neat. And we can just kind of plank away at this. Actually, I guess we could quiver poison bolts. That seems a little bit better. Are they vulnerable? Oh, it is resistant to poison. Okay. Never mind. We'll quiver steel bolts. Oh, I forgot that we have silver bolts. That's relevant. Yeah, spellcasting 17. Oh, that's right. Yeah, spellcasting scales incrementally per tenth of a point, not just per level, but per bits of levels. So it's not as dramatic. I mean, as far as levels go, as far as your spell levels go, um, it only works every level. But as far as your spell casting ability, your actual ability to cast spells, it interesting. It just increases as it goes. So the fact that we hit 17 and didn't decrease our failure rate of Firestorm doesn't mean that it's not working. It just means that it already happened, basically. We already made use of that particular. All right. We're going back because I am going to memorize Abjuration right now, so that should we find ourselves in another circumstance where summoned creatures are causing us woe, we'll be able to get rid of it. I don't believe we have Aura of Abjuration, which would be lovely. Ooh, the Grand Grimoire. Does it contain Aura of Abjuration? Yes, it does. It is a level 6 spell, though. I had forgotten about that. The Grand Grimoire is interesting. I haven't experimented too much with it. just because I'm not the biggest fan of summonings in general, but it can be really cool. And Aura of Abjuration is super duper strong, and we will want to for sure memorize it. But I also want to give us the chance to find our own Grand Grimoire without having to spend 2,000 gold on it. Not that we're using our gold for really anything else, but it's the principle of the thing. Drop these. Drop these, please. Okay. I don't know that we need to carry around the Staff of Wukadmu. It's a neat item. It's really interesting, and maybe we'll switch to it at some point once we have free experience to throw into evocations. Okay, you have 2 runes, Snake and Swamp. It kind of depends on what you're on how strong you are, really. I like to do vaults 1 through 4. If you haven't already done the Orcish Mines, do the Orcish Mines, all of them, and at least 1 and 2 Elf. Elf 3 depends greatly on how strong you are. I usually put Elf 3 off for a little while. But yeah, Orc 1 through 4. 4 is going to be a little bit tougher, but by this point you should be strong enough. Yeah, basically, just get to the point where you can take on Volts 5, because that is the most reliable rune that you can get next. The rune in the Abyss arguably is easier to get, but that's pretty close, and I wouldn't bet on that one. It's a possibility, but I think the Vaults rune is the easiest 3rd rune to get. So if you're just wanting to get the orb and get out of there, that is the path that I would recommend. Crystal plate armor, nice weapon, 62 AC. Oh yeah. Lair, Mine, Snake, Swamp. Yeah, you can definitely just head into the bolts. By the time you get to 5, you should be fine. With that kind of armor class, you don't really have to worry about the melee monsters, and so you can expend your effort and skill points and whatnot. That's right, we were going to memorize Abjuration, not just talk about it. Yeah. And this should be perfectly castable, even without really any points in some things. Yeah. Level 3 spells are gravy. We have 37 intelligence, which is nice. Right, I need to reassign this spell, because K is not appropriate for Abjuration. J is appropriate for Abjuration. And I know Tukima's Dance had to move to K, but that's fine. I would get real annoyed if... yeah. Tukima's Dance with a K. That's fine. Yeah, Spriggan Enchanter, there are parts of the game that are really easy with a Spriggan Enchanter, and so sometimes you'll have really smooth runs, but then there are parts of the game that are really, really hard for a Spriggan Enchanter, and so your run will end abruptly. But yeah, Gargoyle Fighter is pretty awesome. If you haven't already picked a god, or if you have if you went with Okawaru and you have all the gear you need, a really fun sort of endgame option is to switch over to Chabriados and start casting spells. Because Chabriados is insane. Alright. Do I need to do anything else while I'm here? I don't believe so. I know that we don't have any better equipment. Or more efficient equipment or anything. We can drop off... let's drop off this wand of a single charge of disintegration. And I guess this wand of fireball, it's not really going to do us much good. We can also drop off Scroll of Enchant Weapon. Okay, cool. Frees up a little bit of inventory space. And we can travel onward. Yeah, Minotaur Berserker is just it's good for when you're just learning the very basic mechanics of the game because it's extremely forgiving early on, but to actually win with a Berserker is a much taller order. It's much more difficult. Depths. Let's go back to the depths. At some point, we will want to move the relevant parts of our stash to the Vestibule of Hell, but I don't think I'm ready for there yet. Not quite. Oh yeah, no problem. I definitely don't mind being distracted as long as y'all don't mind me just chattering. I am not always a good enough multitasker to play and talk at the same time, especially since we are getting into the part of the game where things are occasionally dangerous enough to kill you no matter how strong you are. I mean, mistakes can kill you regardless of how well prepared you are, and so if you take a few extra steps, you can just die. Like you can easily kill them, but you can also be caught unprepared. Also, one thing to note, uh, sort of up here, our health is at 190 with the 191 in parentheses. At some point, something mutated us or tried to mutate us, and we lost a permanent hit point instead. We can restore ourselves by expending permanent mana points, but those are clearly more valuable to us here. Uh, Not only because they're more scarce, but because they mean more. We can do more with mana than we can do with a lot of health. Like the additional turns that you get for being able to take hits with a lot of health are better spent just being really efficient with our spells and having the ability to cast a lot of them. I think, let's see. Yeah, these are the ones that are resistant to electricity. So let's use cold on them. Fire magic a level 7. Firestorm still 82%. It's okay. We'll get there. We may get there by the. We'll get there by Zop 5, I think. I think there's enough experience in Zop 1 through 4 to. We could also just enslave the Flame Ghost, but I'm not super interested in that. Let's just kind of. Why don't y'all retreat this way? And I'll head this way, and we'll pretend like we're friends. This Flying Skull is not my friend. Control Undead is a pretty cool spell. I like it. Cool. Oh, Emperor Scorpion. Right. Yeah. Hey, Genja, I think that there are things that you have actually taught me about this game. So, like, it's not that the amount of experience that you have is not important. It's that everybody's experiences are unique, and um, everybody has something to contribute. So, I'm definitely glad that you are part of the community. You guys are both really cool. I'm glad to have you here. Hell Knights, Necromancers, these are just not things that bother me. Maybe let's not have them be right next to each other, both hitting me simultaneously. But yeah, we're so strong right now. Elemental, anything that relies on elemental damage just can't hurt us. We have 80% resistance to everything, or better, 80% or better. Still using Bolt of Cold here. I think it's actually fairly reasonable. That is the argument, and I believe it's a strong one. The argument to be made for using cold spells in the end game and not fire um, is that fewer things are immune to cold. Huh, interesting. Plants and skeletons. I guess once things have decomposed, they are Another orange brain. Die. I'll have a shootout. A little bit of a shootout. I'm just not worried too much about the damage they can deal, although that was an interesting amount of damage. Like, this is the kind of thing that having a ton of hit points lets us play with. Is figuring out how much damage things can deal to us. This is cold. Yeah, okay. So let's put this here. Oh no, zombie! Attack that one. Stay away from the orb, or from the prism. We'll let you deal with the very ugly thing for a minute. And then it's a handy tile away for us to blow it up. Boom, 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 boom. I do wonder a little bit how much experience we've lost to our zombies and like controlled undead, our minions of various sorts. I wonder how much more powerful we would be had we not had to split any experience. Not that I'm particularly concerned. Um, Spellcasting is coming along nicely. Dire elephants are pretty strong. I don't think we really need to worry about them particularly, individually. Yeah, like, at range, frost giants just don't really scare me. I mean, we're going to resist the vast majority of their damage at range. And we can just pepper them with boats. Your dire elephant zombie trunk slaps the frost giant, and it dies. Ooh, we got him as a zombie. An axe-wielding zombie. I guess that is a subtle disadvantage to Tukima's dance, is that when we raise the creatures as zombies, they are not wielding the weapons. A Zot Trap. An empty arch of ancient stone. Was that something that I just missed out on? I don't think so. I don't recall getting any messages of a gateway that was closing, so maybe it's just a golden dragon. Again, melee is kind of scary, but range is not. Gold dragons are much tougher than their kin, but their armor, the armor that one makes from their hide, is proportionately better. Gold dragon armor is one of the best heavy armors in the game. I mean, shy of artifacts, it's very, very difficult to beat gold dragon armor. Depending on where your resistances are allocated, because it gives you a pip of cold, fire, and poison. Or rather, it gives you poison resistance and also gives you a pip of fire and a pip of cold. So, 3 resistances on one piece of armor is absurd. 2 is nice, but 3 is amazing. And it's also just insanely high armor class. So I very highly recommend Gold Dragon armor if you're going the fightery route. Just save up all your scrolls of enchantment, because what you can then do is you can also enchant it to plus 10 or something. Maybe even higher. Maybe it's plus 11. So you have this plus 10 heavier than plate mail armor. It's not as heavy as crystal plate, but it's still heavy. And because it isn't crystal plate, there are even some circumstances where you can cast spells wearing it. Rare circumstances, but they exist. We don't want to cast Bolt of Cold at it, I don't believe. We do someday kind of want to cast Lehudib's Crystal Spear, because it's a really good spell. But I don't have any desire to put any points into Earth Magic just now. Lehudib's Crystal Earth Magic is something that we could consider training our crossbows over into. Once we get to the point where really we don't care about our crossbow. Because now it's just kind of a convenience. Though conveniences are really good in this game. Oh, it's deflecting the bolt of cold. Okay. I don't believe it can deflect the orb of destruction. Alright, there we go. Problem solved. We still have steel bolts quivered. I think we should go back to regular bolts. No need to have steel bolts quivered. Yeah, gold dragons are resistant to electricity, poison, fire, and cold. I don't think it gives you electric resistance. I don't think it's quite that insane. But poison, fire, and cold, yeah. Its electrical resistance is a result of its musculature, not its scales. We'll say that. That sounds believable. Yeah, that seems like a nice little kill zone there. We are running low on mana here, so I think the proper choice is to back away. Let this zombie soak up some damage for us. Alright, they are fast. Let's Orb of Destruction, and then if we can, I would like to... No, okay, never mind. I was going to say let's crossbow it down, but I think I only want to continue that plan until we can catch a... Alright, well, let's kind of retreat here. We cannot yet retreat into the Hells, which is a shame. Poisonous Clouds, I do not care about. We can do that all at once. Hey, there's a zombie friend. That will help us. We've also regained a whole lot of mana just by running away. Alright. That looked like a tougher fight than it really was. I mean, we made it a tougher fight than it needed to be, also. Yeah, many Spriggans can summon creatures of nature. I guess Spriggans are supposed to be like brownies, maybe, or something, like some kind of fairy. I'm trying to think of what lore they come from. Oh, huh. Well, it's just Discord. We haven't used that in a while. I think because we haven't been around creatures where it actually is relevant. A lot of undead, a lot of demons, a lot of magically resistant things. Okay, let's actually take these things somewhat seriously. We don't have to take them super seriously, but somewhat seriously. Yeah, Orb of Destruction is doing work, for sure. Ooh, Firestorm, 71% failure. Oh, getting there. My favorite thing in the world would be to find an artifact amulet with a resist mutation base and more intelligence or wizardry. I don't even know if amulets can have wizardry, but I think it would be sweet if they did. Let's pretend they do. Chainmail of fire resistance. Ooh, Discord again. Sounds nice. And let's just sort of walk away. Just walk away. The whole, like, hasted, mighted thing is a little annoying, but... Fire magic at level 8, so 12 effectively. Or 12 with Ashen, sorry. Yeah, get there. We will get there. Spellcasting at level 18, cool. A Boggart. Boggarts are themselves quite weak, but can summon very powerful creatures. Aura of Abjuration is by far the best spell to have against a Boggart. I mean, short of things that just straight up blow them up. There we go. Game is danced. Dance, my puppets. I think we can just shoot him down. Definitely wasting some turns. I'm playing kind of fast and loose. But, you know, we're strong enough that I can. We're not. I'm making sure not to let us get to the point where we're wasting, like, consumable resources, or at least I'm trying not to let us get to that point. Here is where I think Abjuration is going to be nice. We have, I guess, enough spell power to... Yeah, just through raw spellcasting ability, we have enough power to sap things. Which is cool. There we go. Kill the Rakshasa. I think the Great Orb of Eyes only hits you. Paralyze, disintegrate, slow, confuse, teleport, other. Okay. Not concerned about that. Can't do enough damage to us to be... Does it even look dangerous? Looks easy, yeah. Yeah. The Obsidian Axe. Yeah, it's an interesting experience. I would recommend having a scroll of remove curse available to you. That's my recommendation. It is pretty sweet though. It can be used to great effect. Oh, Cross Giant. I guess that was there before, but I wasn't really paying attention. Probably, well, definitely poor play on my part. Let's quiver some bolts of flame. No, we want to quiver these. No, we don't want to attack, we want to shoot. And let's just go ahead and blink. Want to get them into a choke point of sorts. And this is a pretty good setup. Well, until he closes, and then once you have enough mana, by the way, this is the best way to deal with giants. If you have enough mana and you have a bunch of resistances, you just take pot shots at them with a ranged weapon until they're in melee range, and then you blink and continue to take pot shots at them. It's a very efficient way of doing it if you have, you know, the space and everything. Oh, I suppose we can switch away from bolts of flame. Here, silver bolts will be effective, I believe. No, tentacled monstrosities are not vulnerable to silver. Shucks. Okay. Well, steel is fine. I suppose we could cast our spells if we wanted. A Titan comes into view. Titans are pretty scary. Lightning bolt is painful. Airstrike is painful. especially if you're flying. Airstrike does a lot of extra damage if you're flying. And they throw big rocks, as per their other giant-y brethren. A lot of monsters in this area. This has been a very populated depths. Very heavily populated depths. Let's just go back to... Blow him up. Let's see what else we can fight here. Just kind of take it slow and steady. Conjurations, level 20. Nice. So I do think that we can turn Conjurations off for a little while when it gets to an effective level of 27, although it appears as though Ashinzari's boost is diminished for some reason. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll kind of play it by ear. I mean, I don't see too many reasons to... Oh, this has got to be the entrance to Zot up ahead. Yeah, I would imagine that that's what this is. The Draconian was the thing that tipped it off. Lots of Draconians in the realms of Zot. Hey, Trollman. Attack the monstrosity. Don't be a downer. Let's just break line of sight there. Ooh, yikes. This seems like a safe blink to get away. Yeah. Okay. Haha, dragons can't open doors. Oh, hi, giant orange brain. Snapping turtle. It's a shapeshifter. Shapeshifters are gross. Cool. Blade Ghost, not a problem. Though we could control it, I want to be able to rest here. Vampire Knight, however, now that we are at... cool, yeah. Get us some minions here and stick them on our foes. There we go. 2 Quicksilver Dragons. And a partridge in a pear tree. Yeah. That was effective. Here, I think I'm just going to put a prism and close the door. So, okay, well, so the dragon did open the door, but maybe it was the stone giant that helped him out. Let's quiver bolts of flame. I was kind of hoping that, ow. Quit it. Let's just do this. Oh, no, it resisted. Okay. There we go. Alright. I really want to get out of here. This little area is just eating my lunch, and... Yeah, okay, yeah, the stone giant must have opened it for the dragon, because I don't think dragons can open things because they don't have hands. This one we can just... boom. I guess they're not abjured, are they? Let's just blow them up. Or they're not summoned, so I cannot abjure them. By the way, our little bit of stealth is actually coming into play quite a bit. These things that aren't noticing us, that otherwise might notice us. They don't need to be fire anymore. Not too concerned about... Why? Okay, so more elementals are forming themselves from thin air. Is there another Spriggan guy around somewhere? Shadow Dragon, not too concerned. Let's do an orb here, and then go back to... Wow. Oh, it is very resistant to cold. Okay. Good to know. See, yeah, like, look at this. We're just going toe-to-toe with the dragon. We don't really care. Just doing it so that we can regen mana. I mean, granted, that won't always be the case, but... it is an indicator of our strength, to some degree. There's the air mage. Eat orbs. Yeah, orbs of destruction cannot be deflected. A ring of see invisible, it seems. Don't need it. And let's let our zombies deal with the tentacled monstrosity here. Alrighty. Let's just blow them up all the way. Fire magic at level 9. It's coming along alright. Spellcasting almost level 19. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. This is a really cool depths level, by the way. I like it a lot. It's very... I feel like we are... If we were less strong, it would be maybe too challenging for us to take on. But if we were weaker, we wouldn't be as good at this. Yeah, that's the most brilliant thing I've said all day, clearly. Not too concerned about this Sphinx. Yeah, we can. Ooh, Azure Jellies, on the other hand, they are pretty rough. Can deal extra cold damage. Yeah, they're pretty powerful. Uh, uh, I really just want to get to somewhere remotely safe. Okay. Orb things in peace. And Grey Draconians are not all that bad. Spellcasting 19. Excellent. Firestorm at 45% failure rate. We're getting there. And its spell power is pretty decent once we are able to cast it. I mean, 2 pips from the top ain't bad. And that will only get better. Look at all these poor fungi. That was cool. Deep Troll Earth Mage just crazy blew up a statue. You can't get to me. Let's orb you. Or not. Got him. Alrighty. Alright, liches cannot be controlled. They are no feeble-minded. Ooh, yeah, see, Crystal Spear. Lehudib's Crystal Spear hurts a lot. Always. It's a very strong spell. Ah, darn. This is a little scary. It's, let's see, is it? It's quiverable to fire here. Alright. All's well that ends with a dead lich. A re-dead lich? A more dead lich? Alright. So we have, in spite of playing a little sloppily and wasting some time, we have been progressing nicely through this level. I think I will clear it and then sign off for the day. I have some spaghetti to cook. Yum yum yum. Let's try steel bolts against the gold dragon. Let's also back up to about here. Alright, steel bolt's not doing a lot. So we'll just blow him up. A brown, very ugly thing. That's right, acid. Acid. Blah. Spriggan Defender. It will be unpleasantly surprised if it uses the Vampiric Whip on me. Ba-ba-bam. doing it this way because I don't think this Brigand Defender can hurt us as much as the Storm Dragon. Saves us mana. Then again, we are not making much progress. Poison it. There we go. That seems efficient. Just stack up the poison until we can just kind of run away. A deep troll. So it is certainly possible for us to take damage, and to take it in large chunks. Alright, so we're taking kind of a gamble here. We're hoping he'll step onto this Zod trap, which he did. It didn't seem to impact him all that greatly, but sometimes you can get them, like, banished. Banished. Iron Dragons are pretty powerful. I'm glad that I now have 2 very strong dragon zombies at my disposal. This is a little bit of a tricky area for zombies. I feel like with some concentration we could position ourselves really well and make good use of them, but that would require a lot of effort that I don't want to expend at this particular moment. I would rather just get through this area and call it a day. Because I'm having fun, but also I'm hungry, and I haven't really had the chance to do anything. I do have to do some real life stuff, sadly. I have to pay some bills. I have to figure out some tax stuff. Not the worst. I mean, I would rather have to deal with tax stuff than be unemployed, for example, but well, there are days where that is not true, but for the most part, it's good to have a job. Okay. Nice that there's a little fire magic at level 10. It's getting up there pretty fast. I like it. Yeah. 38% on Firestorm. Yeah, we'll definitely by Zot 5 have Firestorm available to us, which is very strong. Firestorm, one of the reasons why Firestorm is excellent for Zot is because it does still deal damage to things that are immune to fire. Not a ton, but I mean, it not a large percentage of its damage is irresistible. It's like 30% or so, but 30% of a whole bunch is a whole bunch. So, Hellfire, ow. Let's drag this Necromancer up with us and just escape. I think that's the correct choice here. Probably I should have been doing more than that. More of that. Pulling things back to this area and taking them out here. Okie dokie. No more trolls. Troll! Here, explosion! I've reached level 25. Neat. We're coming along. Getting there. Oh, we should stand away from the wall. Blat. Boom. I like it. Oh, okay. You've cleared Vault 4. Should you keep going or do something else before Vault 5? That's really up to you. I think that you're, like, if you have 60 armor class, you can deal with the enemies immediately surrounding the stairs. What's your weapon setup look like? What are you using? Oh yeah, if you're level 22, you're ready for Vault 5. Probably. Um, um, let's just skedaddle. No reason to stick around there, fighting a lot of summoned things. You can always just come back. Fine, we're back. Tengu Reavers, and oh, let's cast Discord. There we go. Got the Tengu Reaver at least. Of course, now it's coming after us, but that's not quite as frustrating. If they can't cast spells, Tengu are not as tricky. They can still do a lot of damage in certain circumstances, but not as much as not as much of their damage comes from their melee attacks as from their spells. Staff of Fire, that could actually let us cast Firestorm sooner, but I think that yeah, I think doing Elf 1 and 2 for sure you're fine with. You should be fine. Um, Barring any strange uniques. But that will also give you the opportunity to maybe find some more stores and get some cool. Yeah, I mean the chance there's a good chance that their spells will be yeah. But I mean it's not irrelevant to have a high armor class there because it does kind of blank a lot of the fighters. Um, because many of them are dangerous because they possess weapons that are enchanted, or, branded weapons of elemental whatever. But most of those brands can only trigger if they do physical damage in the first place. So if your armor blocks all of it, you don't have to worry quite as much. That being said, don't mess with Elf 3 yet. You're not ready for Annihilators. They will eat your lunch. Alright. Oh, that was just Depths 4. For some reason, I was thinking that it was the entrance to Zot was here, but no, that's on Depths 5. So 2 pips on all. Oh, yeah. So as long as you have at least 1 pip on cold, you should be fine in Elf. Definitely Elf 1 and 2. You could probably get away with 3, although I don't think that you have a strong reason to do that. I would save it until after the vaults. Hey, yeah, no, that's totally legit. Like I think it would be a very crazy decision to try and do a greater than 3 rune win your first time. I mean, if you wanted bragging rights or something, but I don't. That doesn't strike me as very important. The important thing is beating your best, beating your own high scores. I think that's the joy of this game for me at least. And your first win is pretty awesome. I believe in you. You can do it. The fact that you're consistently getting 2 runes is very nice. It's a very good start. Um, because that's really that's the first major hurdle of the game is being able to get past the layer, basically get past those first 2 branches. Once you can do that, the rest of the game is still very difficult, but it's not. The surprises don't come as rapidly and as fatally uh, from this point on. Okay, so let's kind of take stock here. We picked up some books, I suppose. Ooh, phase shift is kind of nice. I like phase shift. It provides an evasion boost, or sort of. It's separate from. I think it adds to evasion, but it's separate from other sources of evasion, so it stacks. Something along those lines. But it is nice. Mass confusion, less exciting for us than Discord, generally. Darkness. That's actually pretty cool. That might be worth considering. Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I lagged out. Ah, shucks. Does that happen very often? I hope not. Um, anyway, what was the last thing I was saying? I don't recall. If if you remind me of what the last thing was that I said, I will try and retrace my steps. But yeah. Sifmu's Compendium of Snow. Zakabu's Refrigeration. Armor. Yeah, so that's not particularly useful to us. But at some point we may memorize this phase shift. It's a little annoying because you have to recast it really frequently, but it's yeah. Oh, just of course it was right then. Yeah, I think that you are definitely capable of handling Elf 1 and 2, and you're actually probably going to be okay on Vaults 5. I would do Elf 1 and 2 first because there's always the possibility of finding shops that can sort of round out your weak points. For example, I don't know if your weapon is going to be strong enough to do damage quickly enough to do the bolts. Um, just remember, you're going to have to do a lot of stair dancing, but you need to have a way to kill things either with smite targeting or with bolt targeting, like penetration. Um, so that if a Vault Warden shows up and seals off the staircases, you can kill it and escape. Or, at the very least, be prepared to dash up the staircase every single time you see one. But the problem with that is that sometimes when you descend, after the initial descent, uh, each time you visit Vault 5, there's a possibility that a warden will just be standing there waiting for you, and it'll seal it off, and you'll be trapped. So be careful. But yeah, Elf 1 and 2, you actually even, well, finish off the dungeon. Definitely finish off the dungeon. And you can probably poke your head into the depths, although as you've seen today, things are fairly strong in here. It's just the while they are often the same strength as things in Volts 5, you have a lot more strategic options available to you than you do in Volts 5. You have a lot more ground that you can. I mean, look at all these doors and walls and things that you can use to your advantage. that we did not really use to our advantage this level. We kind of just clobbered our way through things. All right. So next time I stream, I will probably cast a Firestorm. It's very exciting. Not going to do it with a failure rate of 30%, no matter how much fun it seems like, because the miscasts for that for that level of risk are pretty hefty. Yeah. The like potions of might and agility are they continue to be useful through the rest of the game, but Volts 5 is certainly a fine place to use them. Generally speaking, you are strong enough that Zot is not going to be the problem as long as you can get past Volts 5. Zot is more about strategy, like pulling monsters strategically and having resistances. You have to have a bunch of defensive capabilities for Zot. Like there are a lot of different angles of attack. Whereas Bolt's 5 is just mostly a lot of bashing. I mean, there are spellcasters and there are melee guys, but you don't have to deal with mutation particularly, shy of summoned beings. Um, but yeah, you're in a good position. Like if you're wearing crystal plate armor effectively, now remember that your armor skill will continue to help with that beyond any other armor. So you can get your armor skill all the way up to level 27, and you'll still be getting value out of it. So I would make that your defensive skill of choice. Um, if you have extra skill points to throw around. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I once again I've had a blast. This was a really good run. Oh yeah, I mean we started off with we finished with our. We used up our manual of spellcasting, which is fine. It got us to almost level 20, which is outstanding. Um, I actually still like this setup for experience gain. We may as well leave it on this for a little while. Um, yeah, your third rune should be the bolts. That arguably you could go for the one in the abyss, but I would save that for another run. And what I would do is I would play Luganu, like an abyssal knight, or find an altar of Luganu if you can, and find the rune that way, just so you get familiar with how the abyss works, because it's a really strange place, and it's easy to literally go in circles and not explore any new ground. So you could get the abyssal rune because you're probably strong enough at this point, especially if you happen to have a wand of healing. That's the big thing in the abyss, is that you really don't ever have any time to rest. So unless you have a reliable source of healing, you can just get whittled away, even with as high armor class as you have, and with decent resistances. But yeah, the abyssal rune, the way you get it is to you have to dive down to at least level 3 of the abyss, 3 out of 5. From 3, 4, and 5, each it has a higher chance of spawning as you walk around, but generally speaking, it's not worth it to go all the way to 5. The monsters are just too difficult. 3 and 4, there are strong arguments for each one, depending on your setup. But yeah, so that is an option. Slime is conceivably doable if you get a source of resist corrosion, but I personally don't do slime until after Zot. Yeah, the Abyss I think scales up pretty nicely. I mean, I like the way that the difficulty increase. I like the difficulty curve as you go further in. I feel like it's very well designed. I like the Abyss in general. I think it's a very cool part of this game that they haven't changed much over the years, and I don't think they have to. I think it's unique and interesting enough that it doesn't require much work. They did, I think, in 0.15 remove the possibility that your blink will not work. I think it still maybe takes longer to go off, but I think it always works now. Anyway, I really do have to go now, so it's been fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.